They're a wishbone team here as Ohio State from the 28-yard line gets the ball. The ball is handed off to Brockington, who cracks off left guard, crosses the 30, goes to the 31, and appears to have the first down of the ball game. John Brockington, the ball carrier, stopped by Dennis Moore, the right side linebacker of Stanford. We're going to mark it as Ohio State 31, so there's a first down, and that's the first down of the game. 10 line of scrimmage, the Buckeye 31. Kern rolling right, may pass, may run, he's going to run, gets inside the 30, gets to the 32, and is cut down. Kern, the ball carrier, had very little running room. The Stanford secondary came up quickly. Jack Schultz came up with an assist from Jeff Seaman, and they knocked Kern down at the 32-yard line, a pickup of 1, second down and 9. Kern with the ball, rolling left, drops back to pass, throws one upfield, over the head of Jankowski at the 44-yard line, incomplete. Jankowski with the intended receiver, Ben Barnes, to drop back on pass defense for Stanford. So there's the first pass of the game, and Kern overthrows his split end, Bruce Jankowski. Single coverage on him. The backs are in an eye. Kern straight back to pass, rushes on, the pass is thrown. Out of bounds at the Stanford 47. A pass thrown to the short side of the field to Leo Hayden, who released, went out in the right flat, caught the ball over his head right at the sideline at the Ohio 48, and then stepped out of bounds at the Stanford 48-yard line. So it is another D formation. Jankowski shifts up on the line of scrimmage. Kern on an option, goes to the 44. Kern, the ball carrier, cut inside his own right guard after faking to the fullback and got short yardage to the Stanford 44, a pickup of 4. Ron Hazel, defensive left linebacker for Stanford, stops the play. Again, it's the wishbone tee. Kern with the ball, fakes to Brockington, now pitches the ball back to Campana. He's at the Stanford 40, and that's it. He tries to turn the corner. Campana is cut down by Dave Tipton, who played off the blocking nicely, dropped back, and then caught Campana as he went to turn the corner at the Stanford 40. It is, however, a pickup of 4 more yards. So it'll be third down. This time it's given to Brockington. Brockington hammers off left guard. We don't know whether he got it or not. It's a time up around the 38-yard line. And from here, I would say Brockington is short. But we'll wait for the official to set the ball down. Brockington, the ball carrier, hit behind his own left guard, Dick Kuhn, and he is definitely short of a first down. It would appear to be a good yard short now because of Kern with the ball on the option play. Dead at the Stanford 41-yard line. Our ball control is the Ohio State game. They held the ball in this drive some 4.5 to 5 minutes. Unable to now, so we have no idea how much time remains. Plunkett calling signals from the 41, long count. Plunkett on an option, reverses the ball to Cross. That would be their opening play of the game, and it has worked successfully as it's the Buckeyes needing a defensive stand. Also a great start. Plunkett on a long count, calling signals. The ball still hasn't been snapped. Gets the ball, drops back to throw a pass, throws one in the end zone. Stanford in 2 plays has converted and has a touchdown. The ball 4. Is it being called back? There's a discussion out there. Illegal procedure is called against Stanford. So there is a center. Plunkett on an option play goes dropped back to pass, and on an option, he found an alley up the middle and ran beautifully all the way down to the 9-yard line, and now a personal foul has been called on Ohio State, so an additional half the distance penalty moves Stanford just inside the 5.
There's an indication, Marv, of the spirit at which this Stanford team has come out of this stadium for today, rebounding from adversity, as was the case on the touchdown pass called back, and then Jimmy Plunkett on that quarterback draw through the middle.
Handed off to Jackie Brown. Brown runs off right guard to about the 3-yard line. Brown, the ball carrier. Jim Stillwagon submarines on the play and fouls it up. He had an assist from Ralph Holloway. Sensible was also in there. And they're going to mark it at about the 3.5-yard line. He didn't quite get Plunkett. Looks over the defense. It's a 6-man line for Ohio State. The ball is given off to Brown on a sweep. He is over. Touchdown, Stanford. Over right in. Jackie Brown goes over a fine block by Dan Lightfoot. Drive, although it didn't take Stanford long to get down there. Eric Cross got the big gainer on a deep reverse, got it all the way down to the 18-yard line. Plunkett hit on what appeared to be a touchdown pass. It was called back. Then Plunkett ran down to the 4, and Brown went over on the second try. Horowitz tries the extra point. It's high. It's good. And the Stanford Indians take the lead now by a score of 7-0. Field, the score is Stanford 7, Ohio State nothing. And now once again, Horowitz has the ball teed up at the soft 40-yard line, runs forward and boots it. Nice high, long one going downfield. Jankowski takes it at the 1. He's at the 5, the 10, angles to the 15, the 20, the 25, and that's all. Knocked down at the 25-yard line. Alexander is the first one downfield to stop him. So the Ohio State Buckeyes take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Rex Kern will be directing the out of the huddle into the wishbone tee. The ball is given off to Brockington, the first man through. Brockington knifes out to the 29-yard line. He just followed wedge blocking, led by center Tom DeLone, with Kuhn and Strickland also clearing the way. Moore and Stevens stopping more plays. Again, it's the wishbone tee. Kern pitches the ball back wide to Hayden. Back to the 25. The pitch out was not too good, and Hayden tried to look over his left shoulder and feel the ball. Well, he got the ball all right and then fell. Back at the 25-yard line, a loss on the play. So now Ohio State has lost the 4-guy formation with Jankowski wide to the left. Kern rolling left to pass, throws one upfield to Jankowski. It's incomplete at the Ohio 38-yard line out of bounds. Defending on the play was Don Barnes. Incompleted pass, Ohio State runs out of downs, and now the Buckeyes will have to kick. Technically, first downs are even 2 and 2, but far more important than that, Stanford has the lead 5. Lego was the regular kicker throughout the season. Under pressure, Lego kicks high downfield. The fair catch is called for and made by Eric Cross at the Stanford 48-yard line. So the Indians will take over first and 10 at their own 48, and Stanford good field position on Ohio State. That punt carried only 27 yards. Plunkett on a long count, gets the ball, fakes it, drops back to pass, throws one upfield, it is caught beautifully by Bob Moore. He's at the 40, the 35, he's tackled at the 35-yard line. A little quick in pass to the tight end, Bob Moore. Moore caught it at the 40, went forward 5 more yards to the 35. Ken Lutner, who had dropped back on pass defense, makes the tackle. 35-yard line. Again, the back shift into a split back formation. Plunkett against a 6-man defensive line. Gets the ball, drops back to pass, has good protection, throws it out in the flat. It's caught by DeMille Washington, and he's out
decision to make. 1st and 10 for Stanford at the Ohio State 24-yard line. They shift into a split back formation to the right. Back to pass goes Plunkett, has time, throws it out in the flat. The ball is dropped. It's free, a big scramble. Let's see who gets it. Let's see how they call it. Brown was the intended receiver. Let's see how they're going to call it. Brown is still down, and it's Ohio. There's a Stanford man hurt on the play back at about the 22-yard line. That's the official ruling was Stanford had it. There's a give to Merrill. Merrill cracks off right tackle, finds a hole, gets inside the 15. He's all the way down to the 13-yard line. A good run by Jim Merrill. And there is another first down for Stanford as Jim Stillwagon and Stan White make the tackle for Ohio State. So the Stanford Indians playing very, very well today. Really moving. Plunkett calling signals. Split back formation for Stanford. Plunkett with the ball. Drops back to pass. Throws a little one out in the flat. It's incomplete. Aimed at Merrill at the 7-yard line. Let him a little too much. Jack Tatum was covering for Ohio State along with Stan White. Incompleted pass. It is 2nd down now and 10 to go. The ball comes back to the Ohio State 13-yard line. Stanford back formation. Plunkett is the quarterback. Plunkett on a long count gets the ball, drops back to pass as Rice is in trouble, thrown down at the 20-yard line. This time Stanford's pass protection could not keep Ohio State out, and the tackle is made. And now let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. In Ohio State territory, a big play here for the Indians. Plunkett with the ball, dropping back to pass, has good protection, throws in the end zone, over the head of Bataha, incomplete. Bataha had a 2-step advantage on Jack Tatum of Ohio State, who was covering him since the ball was coming from across the way, and Bataha had the edge, and Plunkett led him just a bit too much. Incompleted pass, it is 4th and 17, and Steve Horowitz will come in to try a field goal for Stanford. Horowitz this year is 9 attempts. It is set down. Horowitz boots it. It's high. It has the distance. It is good. And Stanford leads 10-0 on a 37-yard field goal by Steve Horowitz. So the Indians of Stanford have scored the first 2 times they have had the ball, and they lead Ohio State 10-0. Ohio State to run forward to boot. Another nice long high one going downfield. It drives Jankowski back in the end zone. He comes out to the 5, the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25. He's to the 30, the 35. Tackled at the 35-yard line. Bruce Jankowski running up the far east sideline. Took it 2 yards deep in the end zone and brings it back to the 35. Out of the huddle. They're in the wishbone T formation. The ball is Kern pitching the ball back on a deep reverse to Jankowski. Jankowski to 35, to 40, to 45, to 50, around right in the Stanford 40. He's to the 30. He's out of bounds. He's out of the Stanford 28-yard line. A deep reverse and a pitch out from Kern to Jankowski. That's the first time Ohio has used that this year. And Jankowski, who was a converted halfback, raced all the way down to the Stanford 28-yard line. So we have a lot of offense today. Dave Tipton makes it stop for Stanford. 1st and 10 Ohio. Line of scrimmage meets the 28-yard line. Kern with the ball. Mix up in the backfield. Kern might have lost the yard. Kern had no place to go. He wanted to give the ball off to Galvos and couldn't do it. The play was stopped by Butler, Lazatich, and Tipton, who comprise. Here's the wishbone T for Ohio.
Kern with the ball on the option play. Is caught behind the line of scrimmage. Reverses his field. He's to the 30, the Stanford 25, the 20. Still on his feet at the 15. Stumbles the ball out of bounds. Tremendous run by Kern. The ball goes out of bounds somewhere around the 5-yard line. Kern was completely hemmed in. Was going to get caught behind the line of scrimmage. Wiggled away from the tackler. Reversed his field. Came to the west sideline. Vaulted over 2 tacklers. And finally Moore belted him out. Knocked the ball loose. And the ball goes out at the Stanford 6. So it is first and goal for Ohio State at the 6-yard line. And if you like offense in football, we have it today. Stanford and Ohio State. First and goal at the 6. Straight T formation. Brockington runs off right guard and goes 2 yards from the 6 to about the 4-yard line, and he might be near the 3. We'll wait for the official to unfile him. John Brockington, the ball carrier, and they're going to mark it at the 3-yard line. Kern against a goal line defense, hands the ball off to Brockington, who hits off left guard to the 1. Brockington, the ball carrier for Ohio State, he holds the school record of 1,040 yards prior to today in rushing, and Brockington knifes off left guard to the 1-yard line. In tight. Kern with the ball, hands off to Brockington, touchdown off right guard. Brockington goes into the ball. His 16th touchdown of the year, and Ohio State gets on the board. So it is 10-6 now. Stanford on top as John Brockington powers over from the 1-yard line. They call the 10-yard line. It's set down, it's kicked, it's high, it's good. So it is 10-7 now with the Stanford Indians on top, and now the Ohio State Buckeyes have scored. So now Ohio State will be kicking off to Stanford. We've had 3 scores here in the first quarter. 2 touchdowns, 1 by each team, and then a 37-yard field goal by Steve Horowitz of Stanford. You know, Barb, I have to. Prepares to kick off for Ohio State, kicks it downfield. It carries down to Eric Cross. He'll take it at the 12. He's at the 15, the 20, angles to the 25, on his feet at the 30, and that's it. Wrapped up at the 30-yard line. Eric Cross returns it. A flag is down. A flag has been dropped at the 27-yard line, and the preliminary indication is clipping against Stanford. So the Indians may draw huddle. The ball is Plunkett dropping back to pass, has a lot of time, throws the long bomb downfield. It is knocked down at the Ohio State 48-yard line. And what a pass Plunkett threw. He really threw that football. Harry Howard was racing downfield with Randy Bataha, step for step, and Howard was able to knock it down at the 40-yard line.
Actually, Marv, I think
against a 4-man line, fakes the draw, puts it out to the side. It's caught by Brown at the 10. He's at the 15, the 20, cut down at the 21-yard line. Jackie Brown catches it out in the left flat, got a good block from Bill Myers, and Brown, with good speed, runs it down to the Stanford 21-yard line. It is short of a first down as Tim Anderson comes up from the secondary to make the stop with an assist from All-American Jim Stillwagon of Ohio State. So it is 3rd down and 2. Stanford's ball on Stanford's 21-yard line. And now this is a possession play. 3rd and 2 at the 21. Needs 2 yards here. Gets the ball, drops back to pass. Has a lot of time, throws it upfield. It's incomplete. Shockley with the intended receiver. White defending for Ohio State. It's incomplete. Out on the right flat. So Stanford with a 3rd and 2 goes to the air. And there, line of scrimmage to Stanford 21. Perfect pass from center. Not much of a rush. Murray's kick, however, is a floater upfield. It takes a Stanford bounce. Crosses the 50, goes to the Ohio 45, and will be killed at the 45-yard line. So the Buckeyes get possession, 1st and 10 at their own 45, and Stanford leading 10-7. Bear in mind that 2 years ago in the Rose Bowl game, in which Ohio State and Southern California played, Southern Cal led Ohio State 10-0. quarterbacks are in a wishbone tee. Kern on the option play to the right, keeps the ball, cuts in, goes to the 50, the 40, the 30. He's down to the 25. A tremendous run by Kern. And again, he vaulted over one of the Stanford would-be tacklers. Kern on the option play had a little hole, really not much of one, and got through. And then when you get him into the secondary, it is trouble. And Kern goes down to the 23-yard line. Dennis Moore makes the stop. That's the 5th first down now. And it's the wishbone tee. Kern options to the left. May run. Going to keep it. Goes to about the 20. Kern, the ball carrier, got about 2 as Stanford made him keep the ball, made him cut outside the tackle, inside the end, and they tackled him at the 20-yard line. He's a little high. The ball is given to Brockington, who tries to go over the top and gets to the 16. Brockington, the ball carrier, went up over the top as Tom DeLone fired out from the center, and Brockington gets to the 16. Pierre Perrault is there along with just outside the 10. Kern getting the ball, pitches back to Hayden. Hayden around the left side, flakes his way down to the 13-yard line, and that'll be close to a first down. Hayden, the ball carrier, on that pitch-out sweep. Gets the first down. There's the designation from the official, first down, Ohio State. That's the 6th Ohio State first down as Pat Moore comes up from the safety quarterback for Ohio State. There's a fumble in the backfield. Masajowski pulls on it and then fights his way back to about the 11-yard line. Masajowski fumbled the snap from center. A little unfamiliarity there between DeLone and Masajowski, so often that does happen. And now here comes Kern back in the lineup for Ohio. Yard line. Kern with the ball, dropping back to pass, may run. Going to run with it. He is to the 10, gets away from the tackler and fights his way forward to the 7. Kern was hit back at the 10 and just squirmed forward and made a dive and got it to the 7-yard line where Larry Butler put him down for good. They're going to mark it at the Stanford 7-yard line. 3rd down now for Ohio State, and approximately 5.5 to 6 yards.
Hey, look at what I got. A brand new dart swinger. Ain't she a beauty?
I done heard about it.
See, I got this special deal down to Dodge Boys. I got the...
Buford, turn in your badge.
Say what?
One thing I can't stand is a law officer accepting preferential treatment.
Do you mean a bribe?
I mean your special deal. White side walls, wheel covers, vinyl roof, and all that stuff.
But I paid for all that. Wait, look at the sticker.
And the automatic transmission?
What about the automatic transmission?
What did it cost you?
Nothing.
Give me the badge, Buford.
That's part of the Swinger Automatic Special, J.W. Special equipped Dodge Dart comes with the automatic transmission at no extra charge. Go ask them.
Ask him your own self. You're entitled to one phone call.
Well, then
The new Swinger Automatic Special. So great last year, we brought it back for seconds. See it at your Dodge dealer today.
Much obliged, Dodge boys.
Kurt Gowdy and Kyle Rove are going to the second period now. Ohio State has the ball on the Stanford 8-yard line with a 3rd and 6. And Ohio State, outplayed in the first 7 or 8 minutes of the game, has come back. They have run 26 plays to Stanford for 15, and they're starting to assert their ball control game now. 29 seniors here today for Ohio State. 13 of them started as sophomores 2 years ago. An unbelievable sophomore class they had. 6 of those 13 sophomores have made All-American. They won't have too many better sophomore classes than they had here 2 years ago, or graduating seniors. 3rd down and 6. Rex Kern at quarterback out of the wishbone tee. Kern pitching to Galbos. Galbos powering to the 3-yard line. Rich Galbos, sophomore, slashing type of runner. And they're calling time on the officials. They may want a measurement.
But a tough decision for the Stanford defensive unit. They can't afford to let Kern cut that ball back up inside because of his ability to run, as we've already seen in this ball game. And then when they force him and he makes the pitch out, he gets that outstanding running from a number of his backs, Hayden, Brockington, Galbos, whomever might be in the trailing position.
Ohio State now and the Stanford 3. Inches to go. Stanford digging in with that goal line defense. Rex Kern, the leading ball carrier in the game, the quarterback, asked the crowd to quiet down during the regular tee. This means the belly series when they run this. Brockington to the 2, maybe the yard-and-a-half line. John Brockington. Oh, he's quick getting off that mark, isn't he, Kyle?
Well, he's one of, as we mentioned, he has that type of power, not only to right up the middle or off tackle, as we've seen, but also outside. This also goes for Hayden. Two very unusual backs. Both good-sized boys. Brockington's 216. Hayden, 208 pounds.
Plenty to spare. Ohio State, first and goal on the Stanford 2-yard line. Ohio State started this drive on their 45. They ground out with their meat-grinding offense, 9 plays here. They're back to their old game, staying on the ground. They started out by throwing the ball. Turn, take the ball, and give it to Brockington, and he's in there. Third faking coming out. Brockington right in.
Here it is, number 53, Brian Donovan blocking right in front. Another good block from Dave Cheney. There you see Brockington diving over.
55 yards in 10 plays for Ohio State, who are now dominating. Campana will hold. Fred Schramm will attempt. And his kick is good. So action will continue here at the Rose Bowl. The score now is Ohio State 14, Stanford 10.
We've got the birds and the bees waking up, waking up. The flowers and the trees waking up, waking up. You and me waking up to that snap, crackle, pop, to Kellogg's Rice Krispies. Snap, crackle, pop. Kellogg's Rice Krispies, let 'em pour, let 'em pour. Berries or bananas, let 'em pour, let 'em pour. The milk on top, hear the roar, let 'em pour. We've got the whole wide world waking up, and everybody in it waking up, snap, crackle, pop. Waking up, waking up, waking up, waking up, waking up.
Ohio State, Stan White will kick off. Notice he's going to boot from the far hash marks. He has that toe tied up.
Looks like if he hit that thing real hard, he would puncture the ball with that front cleat.
Jack Brown, Jim Merrill, and Jim Kaufman. Eric Cross is not back there. He's their best kick returner. Jackie Brown, a yard deep in the end zone to the 10. On a reverse, and they spill him on the 11. Cross was upfield. No wonder he wasn't back there in the goal line. He was up there to get a reverse, 20 yards upfield in the short lineup. That shows you how Ohio State is dominating now. They've run over twice as many plays as Stanford. Ohio State goes on to defense. Stanford will put the ball in play now on their 11-yard line. So far, Jim Plunkett is 4 out of 8 for 44 yards. They haven't done much in the ground except for one run by Eric Cross of 43 yards and a reverse. Out of the split backfield, Plunkett, his receiver, Vataha, fell down. On the 16, he still made the grab in front of Jack Tatum. Randy Vataha, who leads Stanford in pass receiving, caught 48. He's, if you've ever seen Jerry Levias play, he used to play at SMU, now at the Houston Oilers, he's very much like him. He's small, but he has great moves. He explodes off the line, can stop, then change direction. Second down, 5 to go. Stanford on their 16. There's a draw play to stop cold in the 16-yard line with George Hazenall, number 70, a sophomore. They have 2 sophomore tackles up front, Ohio State. Now it's third down and 5. Plunkett has to figure something out. Plunkett hit 18 touchdown passes this year, completed 53%, holds the all-time NCAA passing record and career total yardage record. Over 7,500 yards in passing, 7,800 yards for total offense. The all-time record. Good protection for him. And that pass is completed. Boy, he laid that one right in there. Don Lemke on him.
And look at number 68, Jim Stillwagon. That's the protection Kurt was talking about. They're putting 2 men on him, John Sandy and either guard, Terrell Smith on the right or Lightfoot on the right rather than Smith on the left. They can watch Moore going out. Number 19, Don Lemke, trying to defend against him.
That's what you look for in a tight end like Moore. He can out-wrestle you for that ball, big and strong. First down, Stanford on their own 24. They're going to their passing game. Again, great protection. The pass, look out. Tipped away and nearly intercepted by Jack Tatum, who timed his break, was dashing in there, flips it out of bounds.
Plunkett apparently lost sight of him for a moment. He could have thrown the ball a little sooner. Gave Tatum time to move into position.
You'll always see Tatum on the open side of the field, DeBevic, the end, 83 on the open side, and the linebacker Stan White on the wide side of the field. They have the greatest pursuit and speed. Tatum came to Ohio State as an offensive star and has never played a play on offense. Second down, 10 for Stanford on their 24. They're trailing 14-10. Look out, a blitz is on. Incomplete. But they were blitzing the safety man, Sensabaugh. Mike Sensabaugh came deep in a blitz after it. And we thought that Ohio State will start to put some blitzes on, but they're still protecting him.
You saw how quickly Plunkett threw it. He saw there's number 3, Mike Sensabaugh. Came off a broken ankle earlier in the season. Led the team in interceptions with 7. There he is on a blitz. Plunkett picked it up, but Shockley, the fullback, didn't.
Third and 10 now. Jim Plunkett is 6 out of 12 on the Stanford 24. Reset their backfield with Shockley and Brown. Time again. The pass is complete to Hillary Shockley. He's to his 33-yard line. He does not have a first down. Ken Lutner, the right end of Ohio State, makes the hit on him. So it'll be a 4th down. 4th and 2. And going back is Tim Anderson of Colliers, West Virginia, senior. They have 4 players on this defensive unit made All-American defensive team members this year. Here's the kick. Murray just gets it away. And they call for a fair catch on the 40-yard line of Ohio State by Harry Howard. You young athletes watching today's game should know that the NCAA has condemned the use of any drug by college athletics. Its team doctors agree there's no known drug which helps a player to perform better, despite a lot of rumors you've heard about. Naturally, these doctors warn against the use of illegal drugs by all young people. That drug scene isn't smart or cool. It's dangerous and destructive. Get high on sports, not on drugs. Coming wide at the 40 is Jankowski, the end. They're using him coming around today. That's twice he's got the ball off the end position, and Bernie Barnes made the stop on him.
Dennis Moore playing that very smartly, the linebacker, right side for Stanford, coming back, forcing Jankowski.
Second down, 6 to go. Ohio State under 44. They were stunned early in this game. They were behind 10-0, just like they were here 2 years ago against USC. But now they rally to go ahead. The pitch out. And Rich Galbos is dropped by Jack Schultz, who's a great rugby player. Stanford has the best rugby team in America in college. It's a club team there. Schultz said, I used to hear all the yelling over there in Pasadena New Year's Day. I didn't know what it was about. Now I'll find out. He lives just a few blocks reared from this Rose Bowl Stadium. On the 47-yard line of Ohio State, a 3rd and 3. Let's see how they've done on converting in third downs. They have hit 4 out of 7 so far. They've converted 4 times third down situations in a first down. Turn to the 50. He's short. He's short by a half yard. Now will they gamble with a 14-10 lead and a powerful ground attack? Jeff Seaman, the middle linebacker, and Jack Schultz, the safety man, stop Rex Kern. Rex Kern has carried the ball 8 times. He is the leading ball carrier in this game. He's gained 66 yards. Woody Hayes pointing out. Kern looking to Woody.
I think Woody wants a measurement. It looks like it's about 4 to 6 inches away from that first down marker.
It's a timeout they want. That's their second timeout that they've been charged. Their college team allowed 4.5, 9:52 to go in the half. And action will continue here at the Rose Bowl. The score, Ohio State 14, Stanford 10. And now we return you to our studios for this message.
A 150 years ago, frontiersmen traded with the Indians on this land, and homesteaders following the Oregon Trail settled here. Their cabins are still standing. All this time, yet nothing's really changed out here in Marlboro country. Out here, the wild antelope and the mustang are everywhere, and the country kinda stretches out forever. Come to where the flavor is. Come to Marlboro country.
We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. Fourth down, a foot to go. Ohio State will gamble at the 50-yard line. They're leading 14-10. And they have it. John Brockington goes to the Stanford 46. He was knocked down by Jeff Seaman, Stanford's middle linebacker, a junior of Bakersfield, California. Ohio State now on the Stanford 46. Last 3 times they've had this ball, they've just driven. 65 yards in 10 plays the last time for a touchdown. 65 yards in 7 plays the time before that. Found that opening, Kern, and darts through to the Stanford 39.
Kern, looking at that defensive alignment, saw Jeff Seaman, the middle linebacker, move over to the strong side of his formation, which left Larry Butler and Lazatich just spread out there as the 2 defensive tackles, and that was the opening that Kern took.
Ohio State has run off 34 plays to Stanford's 21. Rex Kern, an All-State in 3 sports at Lancaster, Ohio High School. There's the belly series. He runs the keeper. He goes to the 35, sprints away to the 30. And he's been the outstanding player in this game so far, no doubt about it. He's going to have 100 yards on the ground before the first half is over.
There you can see it again. Faking to his fullback, Brockington. Pulling the ball right out. See 92 Seaman, the middle linebacker, coming over. Getting a good block. And Kern again pulling loose from tackles. Strong runner, 44. Jack Schultz finally bringing him down.
8:40 to go in the half. Ohio State leading 14-10. They pitch to Campana. Campana is hit by number 29, Benny Barnes. And he's dropped at the Stanford 20-yard line. Tom Campana, a junior of Kent, Ohio. We asked Woody Hayes, we said, you lose all these great All-Americans and seniors, how will you be next year? Very good, he said. We always have great material at Ohio State. We get beat us because of bad coaching. Second down, 5.
I'm in trouble with everybody.
Wishbone tee. Leo Hayden to the 10-yard line. Leo Hayden. 208-pounder of Dayton, Ohio, and it took Jim Coughlin, the safety man, helped by his other safety buddy, Jack Schultz, to stop him. Ohio State first down on the Stanford 10. Right now, Ohio State is just too powerful here in this second period. Stanford cannot figure out this option offense, and especially they can't stop Rex Kern, the quarterback. First down. Not first and goal. Second man through. Larry Zelina, who probably is the best all-around running back they have and has been injured all year. Cleveland, Ohio. He's just short of the 5 at second down, 5 to go. Now they're getting 5, 6, 7, 8 yards in a crack. Rich Galbos, 33, replaces Zelina. 14-10. Ohio State ahead. Little over 7 minutes to play in the first half. Kern riding the ball is stopped this time at the 4-yard line. Number 87, Ron Cadzo of Glendora, California, a senior. They now have a third down and 2.5 to go. This drive started on the Ohio State 40. We have a timeout charged to Ohio State. That's their third timeout of this half. Action will continue here at the Rose Bowl. The score is Ohio State 14 and Stanford 10.
You know, the little tots today, by Jove, they've been watching the commercials. It just shows that everything that a kid sees, it makes such a deep impression on his mind. And they recognize me wherever they see me. And they know that it's their good chicken that they get. And I've got a bunch of fans there. There's just millions of them. It's the greatest joy in the world to have. And I believe in the future, we've got another whole generation of chicken eaters coming up.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, a real old-fashioned treat.
Here it is, solid luxury. New Charger SE, completely restyled this year.
Sir, I'd love a Charger, but...
Oh, family man, huh?
Yeah?
I'll tell you what. Looking for economy, good mileage.
Yeah.
Lots of room, of course.
Right on. What do you got?
How about this?
A Charger? You're putting me on.
New Dodge Charger. If your family's too young for square wheels, you can't afford not to be Dodge material.
And the Ohio State fans rocking to a little spinning wheel. 10 to 15,000 of them came here from Columbus, 50 chartered planes. 102,000 on hand for the Rose Bowl. Beautiful afternoon here, 75 degrees. 5 minutes and 1 second Ohio State's had the ball on this drive. And as Woody Hayes calls it, his grinding meat offense. They're up to 3.5 of Stanford. It's third and 2.5 to go for a first down. That's Hayden. And he stopped at the 3. Their timing, Kyle, seemed to be a little bit off when he started that play.
A little bit. It was also a sort of a deceptive type of play. They sent one of their halfbacks. I think it was, I believe, Campana coming back around to the opposite side, trying to influence a Stanford defensive unit. Stanford has stayed pretty much in a 4-man line. which is a little difficult to stop those option plays. There are too many openings between the four men and the way the Buckeyes offensive line's coming off that ball, getting to them too quickly.
Fred Schramm will try a field goal from the Stanford 10. The high snap, the kick is blocked, and it is no good. They blocked it. I believe Benny Barnes rushed in there and blocked Fred Schramm's kick. So Stanford holds, which could be a psychological lift for them. After the ball from their own 40, rammed it to the 3.5. They were stopped on 2 plays in a row, and then they missed the field goal. Stanford's ball on their own 20. Super special weekend, January 16th and 17th. The Bing Crosby Pro-Am, Saturday 6 to 7 p.m. Sunday, A Man Named Lombardi, the documentary on the life of Vince Lombardi. Produced by a good friend of ours, George Flynn. On Sunday, the Super Bowl, a pregame show. Special guest, Joe Namath, and I'll be there. And then the Super Bowl ball game itself, and the Bing Crosby golf. Plunkett. It is no good. The Randy Bataha, which is a Czechoslovakian name, from Garden Grove, California. He wears the same number as quite a pass receiver, used to wear at Stanford, named Gene Washington. Step right into his shoes. Second down 10, Stanford on their 20. Let's check Plunkett right now. He's 7 out of 14. 6'3", the big 210-pounder. Runs it. He's out to the 25, to the 30, to the 35. He's at the 40 and races to the sideline to stop the clock and goes into the Stanford bench. He can move. He's not a wild scrambler, but he can move it on the ground.
Watch Stillwagon, 68. Sandy just turning him to the right. And here comes Plunkett up that little gap. Number 75, Bill Myers, turning out on his block. Picking up 62, Terrell Smith, the left guard. And there goes Plunkett, taking advantage of that tremendous charge by Stillwagon.
That's twice Stillwagon's come in there and maybe overcommitted himself, Kyle, and they moved him out with a trap.
Well, he's so aggressive, they're trying to take advantage of his strength by letting him overshoot the play. That was one way to do it.
Plunkett ran a quarterback draw earlier. Jack Brown to the 45 of Stanford, where Jim Stillwagon hit him. Stillwagon was second on this Stanford team in tackles with 92. Stan White, their right linebacker, led. From Mount Vernon, Ohio, Stillwagon is about as quick a defensive lineman as Ohio State's ever had, number 68. He's a lineman of the year for everybody. Won the Outland Trophy Award. Second down 8. Stanford on their 45. They're trailing 14 to 10. Here's a blitz on, and he tried to unload it. There's a flag down. Sensenbaugh blitzed again from the safety position. Number 3, the All-American safety, blitzed again. Watch it. Number 3.
And you can see him again. You see Stillwagon taking off to the right to occupy Sandy. And here comes Sensenbaugh. And there was holding on the play. I think they charged it to Dan Lightfoot, the right guard, rather.
Holding penalty on Stanford.
That one will hurt the Indians. Puts them back on their 22-yard line. From the spot of the foul, they lost on that play 23 yards. They now have a second down and 31 yards to go. They're behind 14 to 10. They grabbed an earlier 10-0 lead when they shocked Ohio State. But Ohio State came right back. A team that never seems to lose its poise, Ohio State. Now it must be Stanford to come from behind. Second down, 31 from the Stanford 22. 5 minutes to go in the half. That's complete to the 37-yard line to Demia Washington to split in. Harry Howard right on top of him.
One thing about the safety red dog that we've been talking about, we've seen Mike Sensenbaugh of Ohio State so effectively executing, is that the quarterback sees the safety man blitzing. The receivers also have to be aware of it, looking in. I'm sure that Plunkett will be talking to his receivers to be looking for that red dog so that they can expect that ball a little quicker, cut their pass route a little shorter.
3rd and 16 for Stanford from their 37. Right on the button to the 40, 35, and down down to the 31 is Demille Washington. Boy, Plunkett, you couldn't throw a more perfect pass than that one.
And he got good protection, too. Excellent protection from Smith, Lightfoot, Sandy. There he goes. Strong arm. We can see him working again on number 28. That's Harry Howard, curling right around Howard.
Lassiter now replaces Demille Washington, who's caught 2 in a row. First down, Stanford on the Ohio State 31. Shockley and Jackie Brown set behind Plunkett. Lassiter set to the right, Vataha to the left. Plunkett on the option to Brown. Brown gets away from Sensabaugh. Brown down that sideline is pelted out of bounds. On the Stanford 11, Sensabaugh had a crack and missed him as Brown outran him.
There was a little twist. The Plunkett option play. Jim Plunkett.
On the 14, they say, stepped out. First down for Stanford on the Ohio State 14. Jim Plunkett is 9 out of 16. They got a momentary hold, and they go to the 10. That's Hillary Shockley, who down around the goal line is their best runner. George Hazenhall, number 70 of Garfield Heights, Ohio, stopped him, helped by Stan White of Kent, Ohio. Shockley gained the most yards of any Stanford runner this year, 622 yards. On the 10-yard line of Ohio State, 2nd and 6. There are 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the half. Ohio State leading 14-10. And driving to the 12 is Hillary Shockley again, number 38. Number 67, Ralph Holloway. And Mark DeBevick, the end. Stanford has converted to the first down twice out of 4 times. 4 out of 8 for Ohio State. Chad Williams is coming in to tackle John Ralston with his clipboard. There's Williams getting in there in that goal line defense. On the 8-yard line, it's 3rd down now and 4 to go. And a fumble, and it looks like an Ohio State recovery. Ohio State's ball. Sensabaugh fell on it, number 3. Bob Moore on the end around, a tight end around, fumbled it. Sensabaugh recovers to stop the Stanford drive on the 12 or 13-yard line of Ohio State. Stanford has fumbled 3 times and lost once. They have not had a pass intercepted, so they've had only 1 turnover. Ohio State hasn't turned the ball over once. Turn on the pitch out to Galvos, nearly a bad pitch out, and he's out to his 22 for Dave Tipton. And the safety man coming up, Kaufman helped him. Tipton 76, he's played a magnificent game up front for Stanford so far. Ohio State on their 22 with a 2nd down and the yard to go. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Ohio State leading 14-10. Hayden to the 24-yard line for a first down, Ohio State. Again is Tipton and Jeff Seaman, the middle linebacker.
We'll see if Stanford alters their defensive alignment at all. They've been in a 4-3 defensive set most of the ball game. In fact, all of the ball game with the 1:48 and the clock running.
Turn throwing deep over the head of Jankowski, number 82. Jankowski being covered by number 21, Charles McLeod. Trying to hit that bomb just before the end of the half. 2nd down, 10. Well, Stanford, after leading 10-0, Ohio State rolled back in 2 long drives to take a 14-10 lead. Ohio State put on its 3rd sustained drive, tried a field goal and missed it, and then Stanford came back on a 72-yard drive to fumble the ball away. Delina's out. Rich Galbos has gone in the Ohio State backfield. Second down, 10. Ohio State on their 25. Jankowski is split to the left. Up the middle they go to John Brockington on his 30-yard line. Dennis Moore, number 82, playing in place of the injured Simone today. Stanford has asked for a timeout now. They stop the clock with 1:26 to go in the half. Third down and 5 for Ohio State on their 30. So action will continue here at the Rose Bowl, and the score is Ohio State 14 and Stanford 10.
Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, John Brody,
I, John Brody,
have switched to Gillette Platinum Plus
have
Blades.
switched to Gillette Platinum Plus Blades.
Because they shave me closer and with more comfort.
Closer and smoother.
No, wait.
That's how they shave me.
Yeah, that's not the way I said it, John.
Yeah, but I'm the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Gillette Platinum Plus. Double edge or injector with platinum smooth edges for a smoother shave.
Show the Platinum Plus injector blades, John.
They're smoother too, huh?
Not to mention more comfortable.
Okay, I won't mention it.
John, let me explain something to you.
Well, sure, yeah, I use an antiperspirant, but I still get wet. I don't know, I guess I'm just a nervous type.
If your antiperspirant doesn't do what you hired it to, fire yours and hire ours. Right Guard Antiperspirant. Get the drying agent that really helps keep you dry. Stops odor, too.
There are 3 other kids in the family. We all use different antiperspirants. We all still get wet.
Then fire yours and hire ours. Ours is Right Guard in the silver can.
It'll be 3rd and 5 for Ohio State on their 30-yard line. They're leading 14-10. There's the time, 1:26 to go in the first half. They're running it again. He gets the first down. Rex Kern. And that'll put him over 100 yards rushing. How's that for a quarterback? Over 100 yards rushing and a half. Ohio State first down on their 39. 104 yards for Rex Kern on the ground. Now straight drop. Throws to the sideline. Out of bounds goes the tight end, Jan White, who was an All-American hurdler at Harrisburg, Pennsylvania in high school. 3-year starter. Ohio State on their 43, second down 6. 1:13 to play. We talked about the second half. It's something for Stanford to worry about if they go on past records. Third on the option. Pitches out at the right split second to Galbos, who turned that corner and goes into Stanford territory in the Stanford 48. It's another Ohio State first down with 1:04 remaining in the half. And they're going to line up without a huddle now. They have used 3 of their timeouts. And that one is good at the 44 of Stanford to Jan White, who stepped out of bounds to stop the clock. So now Ohio State's trying to race the clock for the goal line.
Second down, 6 to go.
2nd and 6.
This must be an interesting phase of football for the Ohio State team, not known as a passing team and not a wide open team, to face a situation where they have to go the length of the field with the clock running out on them.
Kern pitching. Here's an option pass. Galbos is throwing deep. Incomplete. Pass was intended for Jankowski to split in, 82. Woody Hayes is about to send the play in. Ohio State, you see the number of plays they run off, 49 to 28 for Stanford.
My information is correct. That's the first pass Galbos has thrown this season.
It'll be 3rd down now and 6 to go, with 50 seconds remaining in the half. Kern hit the 49 of Stanford by Bill Alexander. Number 72, a senior of San Diego. They have a 4th and 11, Ohio State. Stanford has time to stop the clock. There are your first downs, 13-8. Let's recap what's happened in this game. Ohio State got the ball, was stopped. They tried a first down on a Stanford 39-yard line after a drive. Stanford stopped them, took over. Then Stanford went 59 yards with Jackie Brown going over for a touchdown 3 yards out. Plunkett had passed for a touchdown to Shockley that was called back. Stanford got the ball again and ripped Ohio State up on Plunkett's passing. They were finally stopped in the Ohio State 26, and Steve Horowitz kicked a 37-yard field goal. But Ohio State, which fell behind USC in the Rose Bowl here by an identical 10-0 score, came back on a 65-yard 7-play drive, rocking and plunging over. They came back again on a 65-yard 10-play drive, rocking and plunging over, and they lead 14-10. Now a punt formation. Lego is in punt formation. Each team had one punt previous to this. A fair catch call at the 19-yard line by Eric Cross. 27 seconds here in this change of possession. The clock will not start until the snap of the ball. 31-yard kick from scrimmage. 27 seconds remaining in the half. Ohio State ahead 14-10.
For a passer of Plunkett's caliber, that's, I would say, not ample time, but he could certainly do it in that amount of time. We'll see what type of defensive alignment Ohio State comes up with. They're in sort of a 3-man rush.
Plunkett is 9 out of 16 in passing for 113 yards. That's below his usual yardage average. He draws it to Shockley, who brings it out to the 29-yard line. Don Lamka, defensive back, brought him down. And Stanford calls time to stop the clock with 18 seconds to go, where they'll have a second down and a yard to go. Jim Plunkett is only the second Heisman winner to play in the Rose Bowl the year he won the Heisman Trophy. The first one was O.J. Simpson in 1968. And there's Plunkett talking to the Stanford sideline.
And as Woody Hayes pointed out prior to the game, interesting change for them. Ohio State faced Simpson in that 68 game, facing a great runner. This time they're facing a great passer. Doesn't look like they've changed. Ohio State hasn't changed much. They're still as strong as ever on defense.
He was very frank about it, wasn't he, Kyle? He said, we didn't stop O.J. Simpson cold, but we contained him some, and we won. We don't expect to stop Jim Plunkett cold, but we expect to contain him some and win again. 2nd and 1. Plunkett fires. Intercepted. He tried to get out of bounds, and he does. And grabbing that ball was Stan White, a linebacker, number 88. The pass was intended for Randy Vataha, and Ohio State has another shot now with 10 seconds to go in the half.
There's some furious and fast talking on the sideline there with Woody Hayes and Rex Kern as Kern leaves to go out onto the field. What type of play, what type of attack to go with just 10 seconds remaining.
That's the first interception for Plunkett in the game, who's averaged only 1 interception every 20 passes this year. First down, Ohio State in the Stanford 35. The clock is moving now. Kern fires, and he's got Hayden, but he misses it, out of bounds. With 4 seconds to go. Benny Barnes was chasing Leo Hayden down that sideline. Kern has attempted 3 out of 6 for 29 yards. But don't look at that. Look at his ground gaining today. Net 99. He was over 104. Now it's down to net 99 for a half. 99 for a game is a good hallmark for any running back. Ohio State has run off 51 plays to Stanford's 29. This may be the last play of the half. And it's going to be. Kern's pass. No good. That's the last play of the first half. Well, there they go. Both teams getting fine ovations. From the near side here, Ohio State. From the far side, as Charles McLeod goes off, the Stanford Indians. And there's your score at halftime. A very interesting first half, with Stanford dominating in the early part of the game and Ohio State taking control in the second quarter. And then when it looked like Stanford was fading, they came back on a beautifully executed 72-yard drive, only to fumble the ball away down near the Ohio State goal line. And as long as they have Jim Plunkett throwing, they're going to be dangerous here in the second half. But Ohio State in the second half this year has scored 158 points to the opponent's 36. And in the third period alone, they racked up 90 points to their opponent's 9 points. So they're a team that seems to punish the opposition, wear them down, and play their best ball in the second half. Let's see if Stanford will be able to be a good second half team also. We're ready to go now with our halftime show. The Ohio State University Marching Band, directed by Paul Drosky. 150 band members. 120 of these appearing on the field, 30 on the sidelines to handle the props and act as alternate. And now we switch you over to Ohio State's Marching Band.
Because computers helped us step out on the moon.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's break the deal. All right. Everybody with a white card. What do you white card? All right. Let's do it again. 83 down. What's that?
Band drills should click to perfection and leave directors lazy for lack of direction. A computer can react to people with unpredictability or hate. Once they've punched into their program, bend, spindle, or mutilate. Now we'll have to whip it into shape by hand, which shows only humans can lead a band. Dating by computer is becoming quite the thing, which rhymes with fling and cling and ring and then with offspring. But Priscilla shunned her printout of a suitor and said, "Speak for yourself, you cute computer." fed it full of fact and fiction, and asked it not to be absurd, but pleased to unwind a prediction, and here it comes, a 4-letter word.
Ohio State's leading at halftime 14-10, and halftime activities will continue from the 1971 Rose Bowl game after we pause for station identification.
Auburn meets Ole Miss, the Gator Bowl, tomorrow afternoon.
This 1971 Rose Bowl game is brought to you by Chrysler Corporation, engineering with care. Your host for today, your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer. By the Gillette Company, makers of the dry look. The wet head is dead. Long live the dry look. By Goodyear, the only makers of long-wearing polyglass tires. And by Marlboro Filter Cigarettes. Come to where the flavor is. Come to Marlboro country. Well, here at halftime, Ohio State leading 14-10 at the Rose Bowl. Stanford's band now examines the prospects for the year. A series of New Year's resolutions for the nation. They're directed by Arnie Barnes, the Stanford Marching Band.
We resolve this new year to clean up our political problems, to wash D.C. The band plays Make Me Smile. solution should be to deal with the population bomb, exploding our trained resources. Let's plan to avoid an unpleasant mistake at the midnight hour. We face unemployment, inflation, the consumer revolt. The baby's pacifier pictured on the field symbolizes the need to keep the customer satisfied. Our great resolution for 1971, not to persist in mistakes, not to let the problems go unsolved. We're not going to take it anymore.
A dry blanket, hot cup of coffee, a good smoke.
You get a lot to like with a Marlboro filter flavor pack or box.
Come to where the flavor is. Come to Marlboro country.
Both teams are back on the field. Let's take a look at the stats of the first half. Total yards, Ohio State leading by 31. Ohio State way out in rushing, Stanford far ahead in passing. Cal Rope will take you down with them.
Well, as far as a running yardage for Ohio State, 226 yards to 109 for Stanford. 28 yards passing, or 23 yards rather, for Ohio State against 109 through the air for Stanford. Kern, the top ground gainer in the ball game, 106 yards. Eric Cross, the leading ground gainer for Stanford with 41 yards. That was just on one carry. That was that early reverse. Demea Washington caught 3 for 58 yards for Stanford. 51 plays for Ohio State to Stanford's 31. Stanford had one fumble. That was the one that hurt them when they were driving toward the Ohio State goal line.
Ohio State's going to kick off. That'll be Stan White. We're waiting for Stanford to break out. And for 29 seniors in Ohio State, 16 seniors in Stanford, they're ready to start the last half of their collegiate career. Eric Cross, way back deep. Reggie Sanderson, who had some muscle spasms in his back, was doubtful today, but he's going to be back there with Cross to receive the kickoff. The leading ground gainer in the game, Rex Kern, the quarterback, 99 yards in the first half. Plunkett picked up 29 yards on the ground. Eric Cross, their leading ground gainer, 41 yards for Stanford. Most on one play of reverse. 14-10, Ohio State. Kurt Gowdy and Kyle Rowe. Glad you're with us. Here's the boot. Cross, dangerous now on the 2. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's quick, he has that spurt. And he's brought down by Mike Sensabaugh, the safety man, number 3. There are the first downs. Ohio State 13, Stanford 8. Stanford on their 35 with a first down. Plunkett's the quarterback. Shockley, Jackie Brown the running backs. Lassiter set to the left, Pataha to the right. Bob Moore the tight end. Move now into a wing. Near offside, but not quite. Play action pass. It is flag drop at the 44-yard line of Stanford. That was Tim Anderson, the right halfback, in there covering against Lassiter, who's been plagued by injuries in his career.
Looks like Lassiter hurt again on the play. He'll be replaced.
Demea Washington replaces him, Kyle, number 36. They mark the pass at the 45. That's interference against Ohio State, and it's a first down. First down for Stanford on their own 45. 10 out of 18 now for Jim Plunkett. First game Plunkett ever played as a sophomore. He passed for over 300 yards. He has started 31 games in a row. Roll out, he's under the gun. Boy, did he needle that into Bob Moore. A perfect pass to the tight end, Bob Moore, with Harry Howard on him.
And watch it again, and of course, Plunkett getting that ball off just in time, getting pressure from the right side from Chad Williams. And there's the tackle. They watch Bob Moore moving downfield all alone. And there's the tackle. Held on to the ball, catching the ball in traffic, most important for those tight ends.
This Bob Moore is some tight end for Stanford. That was a 17-yard pass. He could get off that line and go deep, and he's got a great pair of hands. Hillary Shockley with the Ohio State 35.
83, round on the 35-yard line. Stop there by Williams.
Stopped there by Shad Williams, the right tackle. It'll be second down 7. President Nixon planned to be here today. California native, but he couldn't be here, and so he gave his Rose Bowl tickets to Mrs. Mary J. Laurie and her 3 children. She is the wife. Her husband is a prisoner of war in Vietnam, an Air Force captain, and both are graduates of Ohio State. Mrs. Laurie and her 3 children here as guests of President Nixon. Plunkett starting the option. The pitch out is to Jack Brown. Brown drives to the Ohio State 30. Stan White hit him, the right linebacker. Stanford coming up now with a 3rd down and 2. We're just underway in the second half. Ohio State leading 14-10. Texas was upset today by Notre Dame. Tennessee defeated the Air Force. The Orange Bowl will follow this telecast. Stanford's converted twice out of 5 attempts on third down situation. 3rd and 2. Shockley does not make it. Tatum pounced right on him. Jack Tatum, the cornerback, number 32. They lost a yard or two. So now they have a 4th and 3. Tatum, who runs 100 under 10 seconds. An All-State fullback in New Jersey before he came to Ohio State. Usually he plays on the open end. Now he's going over to the close side. A field goal here now from the 38 by Horowitz, Steve Horowitz, who's kicked one today. His kick is up, and it is good.
That's a
48-yard field goal by Steve Horowitz, and it's a one-point ball game. Action will continue here at the Rose Bowl. The score, Ohio State 14, Stanford 13.
Okay, just go on back. Oh, don't worry.
What do you mean, don't worry? What have you done to my car, lady?
Nothing, it was nothing.
Nothing? You call that nothing? The car's only 2 days old.
Oh, it looks very new.
Looks new? Oh, lady, you just hit the newest of the new cars. Out of a whole parking lot, you gotta run into my new Plymouth Satellite.
But I didn't hit your new expensive car. She did?
She did. Oh, she did. Satellite isn't really expensive. In fact, it's very low priced.
I'm terribly sorry.
Oh, no damage done. Car with legs like that. Who's gonna notice a little scratch?
New Plymouth Satellite, America's lowest price two-door intermediate. Based on manufacturer's suggested retail prices of Satellite pictured and closest competitive models comparably equipped.
We have just had a new Rose Bowl record. 48-yard field goal by Steve Horowitz of Stanford. Breaks the old record of 44 yards by George Fleming of Washington against Minnesota in 1961. Horowitz will kick off. Campana on the far side. Jankowski's in the middle. And Brockington, the 3 deep men for Ohio State. A low kick. Brockington handles it on the 8, to the 15, to the 20. Powers his way over his 30 and is piled up there on his 31-yard line. Be sure you don't miss the Bob Hope Christmas Show, a special 90-minute program featuring highlights of Bob's Holiday Armed Forces Tour. January 14th, it'll be seen on NBC, 8:30 Eastern Time.
We'll see now if Stanford changes their defensive linemen. They've been going with a 4-3. Very difficult to force that quarterback on the option play with the alignment of personnel on a 4-3.
Out of the wishbone, turn keeps, and it's powered down at the 34 by Pete Lazatich, a junior from Billings, Montana. They have him from all over on this Stanford team, from the cow country, from the southwest, along California way from the east. His uncle played for the Rams. 2nd down, 7. Ohio State under 34. They're leading 14-13 early in the 3rd period. Brockington and a quick hitter straight through. Maybe to his 39. Lazatich again. Now here comes Dick Kuhn, the guard, in with a play, replacing Brian Donovan. 3rd down, 2 to go for Ohio State. Lex Kern asking for quiet. Boy, coming through is Brockington. He's on the way. They haul him down. A quick opener. What speed this fullback had. He exploded out of there.
Here it is. Just a quick driving burst of speed by Brockington, and that hole opened up so wide. Of course, there was the option. They were looking for the outside option. waiting for Kern to flip out to Hayden or to trailing man.
40-yard run by John Brockett, and first down, Ohio State on the Stanford 21. Second man through is Hayden to the 15. And he was hit by 92, Jeff Seaman, the middle linebacker.
Come on, Kane!
Second down, a long 4 to go. Ohio State threatening after that quick opener by John Brockett, and we have 10.5 minutes to play in the third period. Ohio State leading 14-13. This will be a 2nd and 4. They're using that wishbone. Rich Galbos that time inside the Stanford 10. And will be 1st and goal to go for Ohio State. Jeff Kaufman tackled him, the safety man. Hayden led the way. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. Kurt Gowdy and Kyle Rowe back with you at the Rose Bowl. 1st and goal for Ohio State in the Stanford 9. The pitch out to Galbos, and he's hit by Dave Tipton, the defensive tackle, who really is a defensive end under this Stanford setup. They call him a tackle, but he plays on the end of the defensive line. It's on the 8-yard line. 2nd down, 8 to go for an Ohio State touchdown. Ohio State ahead 14-13. Getting a struggle today from Stanford, a 10-point underdog. Regular T. This is where they use the belly series. Kern pitches to Hayden. Hayden makes the move and goes to the 6 or the 7. 92 in there. Simone, 78, Lazarevich. They're talking it over with Stanford with a flag. These are the kind of penalties that make coaches shudder.
And you have one of those wide receivers who come back in to help out on the play. Very difficult not to clip. Have to be very careful.
So it's now 2nd down and 27 to go for an Ohio State touchdown. Galbos comes out, and Larry Zelina is in the Ohio State backfield. Jankowski splits to the left. Out of the eye. Kern shoots it down the middle, and a hook pattern to Zelina at the 14. Larry Zelina playing his last game for Ohio State.
There we can see it again. Kern going back. Zelina with all the excellent moves. Good pair of hands coming across, diving. Then bothered with the hamstring muscle. They were concerned about how much he would be able to play, if at all, today.
3rd down now, 14 to go for an Ohio State touchdown on the Stanford 14-yard line. Ohio State's converted 6 times on 3rd out of 12. Running pass, no good. Pass was intended for Zelina again. And dropping back was Lazarevich, the tackle, and Simone, the middle linebacker, to cover. Here comes the field goal kicker on the field now, Fred Schramm. He's had one block today.
Each time he's had pressure coming in from the right. We might look for it, see who is lining up there.
This will be a 32-yard field goal attempt by Schramm, who's kicked 6 out of 11 this year. His kick is up, and it is good. Fred Schramm boots it through. Action will continue here at the Rose Bowl. The score now, Ohio State 17, Stanford 13.
The Goodyear Custom Wide Tread Polyglass Tire.
Portland, you still got a good 3 hours, lady.
Thank you.
Polyglass is mileage. Wow, those lights. Polyglass is traction.
Fred, we there yet?
Polyglass is strength. This is the Goodyear Custom Wide Tread Polyglass tire. Inside, 2 fiberglass belts, plus today's most preferred tire body cord, polyester, pioneered by Goodyear. Traction. Strength. Long mileage, too. Polyglass is value. And remember, if it doesn't say Goodyear, it can't be Polyglass.
Ohio State will kick off from the far side. Eric Cross. Jackie Brown are back. Well, they've had field goals, each team in this half. Check that, they've gone to Reggie Sanderson now. 8 minutes, 33 seconds to play in the third quarter. Stan White kicking. High. Coming to Sanderson on the 6. The 15, to the 20. And buried under on his own 22-yard line. He was hit by Harry Howard, the defensive back. The Gator Bowl on NBC. Tomorrow, Auburn against Ole Miss. 2 o'clock Eastern Time. And the Senior Bowl, the North Seniors against the South Seniors, January 9th on NBC at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Stanford's ball under 22 with a first down. Jim Plunkett today is 10 out of 18. They haven't been able to get the ball to their ace receiver, Bataha. Quick hit on the sideline. That was Demia Washington now, who's caught 4 passes. Tim Anderson drove him out. Bataha has caught 1 pass for only 5 yards. And he's their big receiving threat. Have you seen anything, Kyle, they're doing against Bataha?
Well, one reason, when they flank him out, they're usually going to the wide side of the field. And, of course, that's the side Jack Tatum is favoring. As we'll see, Tatum now coming out. They have a slot formation to the bottom of your screen. Bataha is in the slot.
Second down, 4 to go. Stanford under 28. Play action pass. A lob deep. Complete to Bob Moore. Plunkett feathered it to him beautifully. Bob Moore, the brilliant tight end of Stanford.
And here's a most difficult pass to throw, running to your left for a right-hander. Perfect arch, too. Perfect lob, perfect trajectory. And here's Moore coming off the line of scrimmage, not getting much, no one bothering him at the line of scrimmage. Number 3, Mike Sensabaugh, driving him out of bounds.
Woody Hayes said we may be playing against the finest passer to ever play in a Rose Bowl. Woody knew what he was talking about. First down, Stanford on the Ohio State 36. Great drop back. Over the head of the receiver. He fired that ball. Don't know whether he was just trying to dump it over his head or whether he had too much on it. Second down, 10. Woody Hayes, 28 years, the head coach. A history buff, especially military history. George Patton was his hero, General George Patton. Second down, 10. They're in a slot right with Bataha in the slot. There's a blitz on. He's buried under. Sensabaugh hit him first, and then Shad Williams, 79, the sophomore tackle, took him down. That's the first time they really got to him today. Second time, but I mean, that was when they really put the heat on him. 12-yard loss. Goes back to the Ohio State 48. And Ohio State's been using that safety blitz today, sending Mike Sensabaugh in from the safety spot. Don Lampka goes in now as a secondary back, replacing the tackle Hazenhall. They have an extra secondary back in the game. 3rd and 22 for Stanford from the Ohio State 48. They're going to run it, and Hillary Shockley carries it to the 43-yard line of Ohio State, where Doug Adams brought him down, number 63, a pre-dental student, who calls the defensive signals on the Ohio State team. 4th and 17. Hazenhall goes back in his tackle. Steve Murray's in punt formation. Sensabaugh is the safety man. Angles it for the far coffin corner. This may be a beauty, and it pins him out. It goes out on the Ohio State 7. So they nailed the lid on the coffin. 2 million people in Pakistan are faced with starvation, exposure, disease. The Pakistan flood was the worst natural disaster of this century. It'll be a greater disaster if we don't care. Send whatever amount you can to save the survivors. Pakistan Relief Fund, Box 1670, Washington, D.C., 20013. Thank you very much. Ohio State on their own 7-yard line. They're leading 17-13. Brockington to his 9. Jeff Seaman, the middle linebacker. Woody sending a play in. Kuhn, the guard, comes out. Donovan went in and replaced him. Second down, 8 yards to go. Ohio State on their own 9. Just under 6 minutes remaining in the third period. Brockington running it to his 16 or 17. Once again, Jeff Seaman made the hit on him. I believe they'll measure. Well, they call it a first down. They don't measure. So on the Ohio State 17-yard line, the Buckeyes have a first down. And the shuttle system in again at guard. Jankowski spreads to the left. Wishbone. Kern pitching to Hayden. Hayden to the 25, 30, 40, and stepped out of bounds on the Ohio State 40-yard line. Leo Hayden. Jim Kaufman pushed him out. 23-yard gain by Hayden.
And again, Stanford staying in this 4-man line. I hate to keep referring to it, except it's extremely difficult. They're hooking the defensive end. That puts the pressure on that outside linebacker as he comes across, whether to go for the quarterback, go for the fullback, or wait out for the pitch out. And he's getting caught right in the middle, not making a definite decision, not forcing it one way or the other.
They hit him right along the line of scrimmage, Brockington that time. Dave, it was Bill Alexander, the end, number 72, a second stringer, has played a strong game since he's been in here for Stanford. Second down, 9 to go for Ohio State. 4 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the third period. Ohio State, with their usual ball control, has ran off 65 plays to Stanford's 41. Stanford moving up in a 6-man front, you'll notice. Kern to his 49. Jack Schultz, the safety man, tackled him. We're looking down the Ohio State bench. The leading ground gainer in this game is the quarterback Rex Kern with 109 yards. Brockington has 106. Hayden has 51. Eric Cross with 41 yards, the leading ball carrier for Stanford. Third down and a yard to go. Brockington, a first down to the Stanford 47. Ron Cazel on the tackle. Ohio State now has converted 7 out of 14 third down situations. Stanford 2 out of 7. Kern keeping, and he's dumped there. Looks like Seaman, 92, the middle linebacker. He's been roaming all over this field today. It is now on the 47.5, second down, 10.5 yards to go. Ohio State in possession in Stanford territory. One of the few times Ohio State's lost yardage. Kern on a drop back, plenty of time, broken up, flag down, number 28 reaching over his shoulder. The 29, Benny Barnes. That's a tough play. You got to go up over the man's back, hook around him, or else it's a completed pass.
Might be able to see it again. Number 80, Jan White, going down. There's Barnes, hitting him just before the ball comes to him. As Kurt says, very difficult to try and go over the man's shoulder.
Both teams have been comparatively free of mistakes in this game. Very few turnovers, very few penalties. Stanford's had only 2 turnovers. Ohio State hasn't turned the ball over once. Typical Ohio State performance. To the 36-yard line of Stanford went John Brockington. Larry Butler put him down as he upended him. His second down, 7. As we told you, during the year, Ohio State fumbled the ball away only 5 times in 9 games. 2.5 minutes remaining in the third period. 17-13, Ohio State leading. Kern keeps, may have been a mess up on the handoff. Timing destroyed. Dave Tipton tackled him. And Dennis Moore. On the 33-yard line of Stanford, Ohio State has a third down and 4.
As Stanford moved one of its defensive tackles over the nose of the offensive center, you can never tell whether a quarterback is automaticing or not. We just assume Kern tried to, got a little mixed up in the backfield.
3rd and 4. Kern running the keeper. And there he goes again. And he starts that slide. That's off the old split tee. That slide down the line of scrimmage. Only they option on the tackle. If he stays out, Kern cuts inside. And you see his cutting ability. That's the secret of that option quarterback, his ability to turn and cut upfield as quickly as Kern does. If you come in and take him, then he's going to pitch out for the trailing halfback going wide. First down, Ohio State. Ohio State now is on the Stanford 28. Well, Ohio State, as we told you, murdered everybody this year in the third period. They're getting a real battle from Stanford. Each team has a field goal in this quarter, and that's it. 1:20 remaining in the third period. And Koski set to the right. Brockington like a wild buffalo charging. He veers very well, doesn't he, Kyle?
He really does. And Dennis Moore, the outside linebacker for Stanford, was in good position. Just dove. Brockington's ability to give him a limp leg, go right over him.
Second down, 5. Ohio State on the Stanford 23. Leo Hayden, second man through. Pete Lazatich underneath. Number 78 is just over the Stanford 20. We're in the last 30 seconds of the third period. Third down and a yard to go. Here comes Kern out. Masajowski replaces him. Kern got a big hand. He's played another brilliant Rose Bowl game. Voted the outstanding player of this game as a sophomore 2 years ago. They're close. Rich Galbos.
I think the reason Kern came out of the ball game, either his hand or he either maybe even got his foot stepped on that last play where handed off to Hayden. Either that or got his thumb jammed. Looks like he's not seriously bothered. He may be going right back in.
Rex Stern going back in now. 4th down and about 2 or 3 inches to go. On the Stanford 19. And they asked for the crowd to quiet down, and that's the end of the quarter. The end of the 3rd quarter in a 1971 Rose Bowl game with a score. Ohio State 17, Stanford 13.
If you could put a plastic shield on your face, you'd have protection from nicks and cuts, but you wouldn't get much of a shave. However, now you can get a smooth, comfortable shave and have protection from nicks with this kind of shield, Gillette Foamy. Not plastic, but creamy, rich lather that actually acts as a safety shield with lubricating agents that help glide your blade. So you shave close, but you can shave painless. Yes, this is can protection from the #1 brand.
This is America's favorite high-protein cereal, Kellogg's Special K. It also has 8 essential vitamins. Special K gives your family 33% of the officially established minimum daily adult requirements of iron, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, vitamin C, A, and D, plus vitamins B6 and B12. Special K cereal is 99% fat-free, and it's delicious. Look for the big red K. The whole family will like it.
In that 3rd period, Ohio State had the ball 10.5 minutes. Stanford 4.5. Ohio State ran off 24 plays, Stanford 10. Indicative of the ball control that Woody Hayes has always taught at Ohio State. But he's in a tight ball game here. There are your first downs, 19-11. This is Kurt Gowdy and Kyle Rote, and we're starting the 4th quarter. Each team had a field goal in the 3rd period, and that was it. Ohio State has run up 372 yards on the ground to 127 for Stanford. 4th and inches on the Stanford 19. Oh, they may have stopped him. Stanford holds on the 20. They only had 3 inches to go, and Stanford stopped him. John Brockington was stopped. That's one of the few times he's been stopped all year. That great quick off the mark power he has. Stanford on their 20, 1st down. They've beaten some good teams this year. USC, Arkansas, Oregon, Washington, UCLA. Now Plunkett sets him down in his spread offense with the 2 receivers out. He's going to go to the sideline. It's out of bounds to DeMille Washington. Tim Anderson forced him out. That's the 5th ball that Washington has caught. Bob Morris caught 4. The Taha, they've been able to hit him only once. 2nd down, 4 to go. Stanford on their 26. They're trailing 17-13. We just started the 4th period. A slant pattern, that's complete for a 1st down to DeMille Washington again in front of Tim Anderson. Plunkett now is 14 out of 23.
Plunkett very wary of the Red Dogs by Ohio State. That time it was Jack Tatum coming in from his left. Very sure to have the quick passes that take very little time to get off.
First and 10 for Stanford on their 36. Lassiter's replaced Washington as the outside man now. He's going to run it. He's at the 35, and he's out of bounds on his 38. And he's into the Ohio State bench. Shad Williams and Jim Stillwagon ran him out of bounds.
I think he thought better of the bench than Tatum. Tatum was right on his trail, too.
I don't blame him. 2nd down, 8 to go for the Stanford Indians. Quarterback draw. The big, strong quarterback rips away and pulls to the 48. 210 pounds. Went to the finals of the North California Wrestling Tournament in high school.
There you see Doug Adams, 63, dropping back. John Sandy, 55, coming through. And here comes Plunkett. There's Sensabaugh, number 3. Pretty good open field runner.
First down for Stanford on their own 48-yard line. 10-yard run by Jim Plunkett. Time again. And it's good to Vataha. Landy Vataha catches his second ball of the game. And he's out on the 42. Plunkett working those sidelines.
There haven't been many times they've not put 2 men on Vataha. That time Sensabaugh was going to drop over and help out.
Vataha goes out. Demia Washington replaces him. That leaves Lassiter and Washington in as the wide outside wide men. And here's the first down measurement. Woody Hayes talking to one of the officials. First down. Woody had the best look in the house. Stanford has a first down on the Ohio State 42. They've driven from their own 20. The score is 17-13 in favor of Ohio State. 13 minutes and 47 seconds remaining. Out of the slot right. Just over the 40. Jackie Brown. They haven't been able to run much against this Ohio State team. Doug Adams got underneath him.
I think Plunkett just trying to give them enough running to make them honest, make them respect the running game.
Stanford not in a fight for the #1 position in the country, but knows it can really wrap up a great season with a win here today and an upset over Ohio State. Second down, 8. Raises up. Pass to the 35. And to the 32. And Howard had to bring Vataha down. Vataha is tricky after he catches the ball.
As you can see, Vataha all alone now. And what really put him all alone was the fact that Plunkett moved Shockley up into that little slot position. And here comes Tatum, who had to cover Shockley. Plunkett trying to get Ohio State to cover one-on-one rather than double cover Vataha.
They got a tackle out of there, Shad Williams. First down, Stanford on the Ohio State 31. Quite a drive Stanford's putting on now, and it's the passing of Jim Plunkett. Hillary Shockley veering to that sideline and is belted out by Stan White, the linebacker at the Ohio State 28. Shockley and Jackie Brown will be back next year as the Stanford running backs. Vataha's back in now, replacing Demia Washington. Second down, 7. 12.5 minutes to play in the game. Ohio State leading 17-13. Stanford on the march. On the Ohio State 28. Well, they were trying to set up a pass to Lassiter. Earlier in the game, Eric Cross took that reverse. That was Vataha, and ran 40 yards with it. They were going to reverse it to him again, but I'm sure Vataha was going to try and pass to Lassiter, who was down there in the end zone.
Yeah, Lassiter was open for a few steps deep, and of course, Vataha had no chance at all, had no time to even get the ball up to throw it.
They had a wire here about the stars on the helmets. Those are for outstanding performances when they grade the defensive and offensive films. Every time a player gets a good grade on the game film, they receive a star on their helmet. Third down now. Plunkett looking. He's good on a broken play. Fires on the run to Moore. What a catch! What a grab by Bob Moore, the tight end.
Tremendous catch by Bob Moore. Plunkett having to break his pattern. Now fires to the corner. And there's that diving catch by Bob Moore. Moore breaking his pattern now, looking for an opening. Plunkett loose, throws the ball. Number 19, Don Lampka, trailing.
This Moore is good a receiving tight end as you'll ever want to look at today. And that's Plunkett's big play, a broken pattern. He's so strong, he can throw on the run and deep on a broken pattern. First and goal. Plunkett trying to dive, and he's hit on the yard line as he tried to dive over. Jack Tatum. Doug Adams met him there. 11 minutes to play in the game. Stanford can take the lead if they drive in. They're on the Ohio State 1-yard line.
And as you look at the field, you'll see the paint on the grass. It's on the inside of the goal line. You'll see the thin stripe. That is the goal line, not the white paint.
All right, a second down, a yard to go for a Stanford touchdown. Plunkett again. He stopped. Stopped at the 1. He's big and strong on that quarterback sneak. He's running up against a tough line. Lettner got underneath him. Helped by Doug Adams. Third down, a yard to go for what could be a go-ahead Stanford touchdown.
Every team, of course, has a goal line offense. We'll see which one Plunkett selects this time.
Jackie Brown. He's over. Jackie Brown scores. Stanford is ahead.
And from the ground level, we'll see this handoff to Jackie Brown. Brown getting some good blocking up front. Dives in, and Stanford is out in front.
What a drive. Engineered by Jim Plunkett. 80 yards, 14 plays. And the big play was a pass of 25 yards with an incredible catch by the tight end Bob Moore. That gave Stanford a first and goal on the Ohio State 3. Horowitz will try the point. Murray is holding. And the kick, good. Boy, we've got ourselves something here. Action will continue at the Rose Bowl. The score is now Stanford 20, Ohio State 17.
Meep, meep. Meep, meep.
1971 Roadrunner. Coming through with totally new styling. It looks like fun. It drives like fun. And it still goes beep, beep. Beep, beep. The only place to catch a Roadrunner is at your Plymouth dealers.
Stanford will kick off. Campana and Brockington are at the 10. The end, Jankowski's at the 5 for Ohio State. Getting back to those stars, they're not stars, they're Buckeye leaf decals on the Stanford Ohio State helmets. Here's Horowitz to boot. Stanford now leading 20-17. They've outscored Ohio State in the second half. Something no other opponent has done. The tip. They're going to down it for the touchback, and Ohio State will put the ball in play on its own 20. Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be switching to Miami, Florida. Jim Simpson, L.D. Rogata standing by for the Orange Bowl. Undefeated Nebraska against a powerhouse LSU team. Notre Dame upset Texas today to end their 30-game streak. Stanford's ahead right now. They were bigger underdogs. And the other bowl game today, Tennessee whipped the Air Force. Now let's see what Stanford does, or Ohio State does now on their own 20. Out of the wishbone. Rex Kern on the pitch out. Is dragged for a loss. And the tackle made by 44, Jack Schultz, the defensive captain and safety man of Stanford.
Excellent play by both men. Roger Cowan, the left defensive end, coming across. Also Jack Schultz.
Larry Zelina checks into the Ohio State backfield. Second down, 12. Ohio State on their 18-yard line. They're trailing now, 20-17. Kern hit as he let the ball go. What a rush by Larry Butler, number 73. And Roger Cowan, number 93, a second string in. Stanford's aroused now. Third down and 12. Ohio State pinned back on their 18-yard line. They send a new play in by their guard, Brian Donovan. That last drive, Stanford kept the ball 5 minutes when they went 80 yards. Kern throwing, intercepted by Jack Schultz. Jack Schultz intercepts number 44. Kern threw it right in his hand. That's the first turnover today for Ohio State. Stanford's turned the ball over twice. Timeout. Action will continue here at the Rose Bowl. The score, Stanford 20, Ohio State 17.
The Gillette Company is delighted to announce the Wethead is dead. Now you don't have to use oil, creams, or even water on your hair. Introducing the Dry Look. Dry control for your hair. Keeps it neat, full, natural, but dry. And you set just the degree of dry control you need for your own hairstyle. The Wethead is dead.
With the Dry Look from Gillette.
This man will do something you shouldn't try. He'll shave in less than 25 seconds to test the Gillette Techmatic razor. No razor can guarantee it'll never cut you, but Techmatic is made to reduce the risk. Techmatic is lighter on your face. Techmatic has an adjustable cartridge and a razor band with no corners to cut you. That's it. A good close shave in 16.8 seconds without a nick or cut. Gillette Techmatic. It's tough on your beard, not on your face.
Stanford's ball, first down on the Ohio State 25. 9-11 to play. Brown and Shockley behind Jim Plunkett. Bataha left. The pass to Bataha. Hits him on the 20. Look at him dance. And he goes to the 14. Quick feet, explosive, change of direction for the Rabbit, Randy Bataha.
When a receiver gets in that position, it's just like anybody else playing in their backyard playing football. It's one-on-one, and you just make the moves you think you have to make. Excellent after he catches the ball.
The offside is declined by Stanford against Ohio State. It'll be a first down for Stanford on the Ohio State 14. Jameel Washington replaced Jack Lassiter. Well, they weren't getting that ball to Bataha until about 5 or 6 minutes ago. Now he's caught 4 balls in the game. Stanford on the Ohio State 14, a first down. Stanford's ahead 20-17. They run it to the 10, and that's Jackie Brown, who scored 2 touchdowns. Doctor trying to block for him.
Might make one point. Ohio State has changed its defensive alignment. They've now been in a 4-man line. In other words, they moved Jim Stillwagon off the nose of John Sandy, the center, moved him over in front of a guard. And that time they had moved him over in front of Dan Lightfoot. Lightfoot making an excellent block, taking Stillwagon to the inside.
Lasser to the right. They're in a slot. Second down, 6 on the 10. Plunkett fires into the end zone. No good. Bob Moore, the tight end that time, was covered well by Tim Anderson. So it'll be 3rd down and 6 for Stanford on the Ohio State 10.
Ohio State still driving in on Plunkett. George Hazen all that time putting pressure on him, fighting off his blockers, getting into the area.
Plunkett has hit 244 yards, 17 out of 28. And he spread his pass it around. Touchdown! Randy Vataha. A slant pattern.
And they caught the safety blitz. There you see Sensabaugh, number 3, coming in, left the opening. Normally that's where Sensabaugh would be, and he read it perfectly. Now we see Vataha. Look at the great outside fake he gave. There's Sensabaugh. Safety red dog. Plunkett picked it up perfectly. And
now
the fake on Harry Howard.
Horowitz kick, good. Action will continue here at the Rose Bowl. The score, Stanford 27, Ohio State 17. And now we return you to our studios for this message.
Marlboro country, a good smoke at the end of a working day.
You've been moving hard since sunup through a long and dusty day. The cattle stop their moving round, things begin to settle down. Seems like town's a million miles away. 40 miles of riding to the end of a working day. You settle back as shadows run to catch that big red setting sun. The evening of a Marlboro country day.
Come to where the flavor is. Come to Marlboro country.
Stanford will kick off. You know, before these two teams took the field for the opening kickoff, Ohio State knew that Texas was defeated. So they were going maybe for the number 1. Now Nebraska's laying out there in Miami in the Orange Bowl, and when it's all over, they could be the undefeated team along with Arizona State, which by playing in the West mostly on Saturday night does not get the recognition it should in the national ranking. Another deep kick by Horowitz. He'll run this one out. Jankowski is hit. That's what they like to do. Anytime you keep a team from running that kick back over its 20, you've done your job on the kickoff. It'll be on the 13-yard line. The Bob Hope Desert Classic will be coming up Saturday and Sunday, February 13th and 14th on NBC. We have 8 minutes and 14 seconds left, and Stanford had the ball only, or Ohio State's had the ball only 55 seconds in this period. Stanford's used ball control, but with a pass instead of the run. Rex Kern now goes to the air, and it's no good to Jan White. Mikhail with a running attack and not a good passing team. When you're behind like this, it's going to be tough for Ohio State.
It really is. That ball control type of offense then becomes really a measurable handicap if that clock doesn't have enough time left on it. 8 minutes, a little over 8 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 seconds.
Masajowski is in now at quarterback. He's a better long thrower than Kern. Zolene is also in. 2nd and 10. Ohio State on their 13. They throw, and that one is incomplete. That pass intended again for Jan White, the tight end, came right back to him.
Benny Barnes doing excellent job on covering. I don't think he'd played defensive secondary until he came to Ohio State.
And there's Rex Kern back in the Ohio State backfield. 27-17. Stanford ahead. 10-point underdogs. They're ahead by 10 now. They roll out with Kern trying to get that first down. And he brings it up to his 25. Rex Kern gets it. Kern now has 125 yards rushing in this game from the quarterback position.
And there's an example of the problems you have with a running quarterback. Kern having to come off the field again, shaken up a bit on the play. You have to be awfully sturdy to hold up under that type of beating that you take when you keep that ball on the option.
They're attending him. Masajowski puts them down. It's first down, Ohio State on their 25. He's under the gun. And he is pulled down on his 23. Getting in there to him was Dave Tipton. The Thunder Chicken up front for Stanford. The loss of 2 for Ohio State. They have a second down and 12. And the clock ticking away against Ohio State. We're approaching 7 minutes remaining in this game. The undefeated, untied Ohio State Buckeyes are trailing before an inspired Stanford team. He's hit as he released the ball, but completes it to Jan White at the 32-yard line. It was a great throw by Masajowski because he was really belted as he let the ball go.
Jan White looked like he was down on his knee. Maybe he got up in time. Normally that was so quick. And Masajowski going back. Here's what happens to you after you let that ball go.
On the Ohio State 32, third down and 3. Ohio State has to keep possession. And they're on their 33, and that's all. They're short of a first down. John Brockington, who follows in a long line of great Ohio State fullback. Ohio State always seems to have fullbacks and tackles. Jim Otis, Bob Ferguson, Bob White, Matt Snell, and now John Brockington. Fourth down and a yard to go for Ohio State, trailing 27-17. Under 6 minutes remaining here in the Rose Bowl. The lights are on. They're going for it. They have to. And they don't get it. They're stopped at the 34-yard line. Dennis Moore in there. Jeff Seaman in there, the middle linebacker. And Stanford stops Ohio State on the Ohio State 34. Timeout as Stanford takes over. Action will continue here at the Rose Bowl. The score, Stanford 27, Ohio State 17.
Hi, I invited Robert for dinner.
Oh, how nice.
He's kind of special, Mom.
Special? And I only have cold cuts.
Well, why don't I just go and get some Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Oh, good. Is it the Colonel? Is it the Colonel?
Told you my mom could cook.
Boy, Mrs. Rogers, wish my mom made chicken like this.
Oh, well, it's an old family recipe.
11 herbs and spices make Kentucky Fried Chicken so finger-licking good that some people forget to mention it's the Colonel's.
Hi, everybody. Hey, I didn't know we were having Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Colonel, can I have another piece of your chicken, please?
There's your time, 5:41 to go. Stanford's ball on the Ohio State 34. First down. Stanford leading 27-17. Jackie Brown. Well, he had some drive on that one, didn't he? Looked like he exploded. Ken Lutner hit him around the ankles to knock him loose. Bob Moore, the tight end, what a game he's played. The end of the first half, we were voting for the most valuable player of this game. I imagine you'd vote for Rex Kern. Right now, I think the tide has swung over to Jim Plunkett. He's passed for 250 yards, hitting 18 of 29. Second down, 3. And Hillary Shockley is to the Ohio State 24. Jim Stillwagon and Stan White on him. Third down and a short yard to go. Stanford's had the ball about 80% of the time in the fourth quarter. First down for Shockley to the 19 of Ohio State. Mike Sessenbaugh, the safety man, made the stop on him.
Tremendous job of blocking in the middle. Again, John Sandy blocking on Jim Stillwagon. Both outstanding performers. They'll both be pretty sore tomorrow morning. Just a constant hitting all evening.
Stanford on the Ohio State 19, leading 27-17, 4 minutes to play. There it is out to Vataha at the 15. And he stopped short of a first down, I believe. Randy Vataha out in the flat, been catching those balls here late in the game. That's 5 for him now. He caught only 1 with about 8 or 9 minutes to go. It's on the 12-yard line of Ohio State. It'll be second down and 2. Lassiter comes in. DeMia Washington out as the outside receiver. Stanford's playing ball control not only with a running but a passing game. Well, he ran into something that time. Jackie Brown stopped cold on the Ohio State 13 by Hazenhall, the left tackle. I want to thank very much Leigh Leishman, the chairman of the football committee of the Pasadena Tournament of Roses. The Ohio State coach, Woody Hayes, and his staff, especially Lou McCullough, who was a great aid to us, their #1 assistant, the athletic director, Ed Weaver, and the sports information director, Wilbur Snip. Third down, 3 to go for Stanford. Quarterback draw, Jim Plunkett fumbles the ball. Ohio State has it. Now they lateral off. Running with the ball was Jack Tatum. We've got something going here.
But it was a forward lateral, which I think they have ruled.
Flag down, that's right. Flag down. Lateral the ball forward. Steve Jubb is on the turf injured. Stan White recovered a fumble. And trying to lateral off, he pitched it forward. Number 79, Jubb is up. He's all right. He goes out. That's an illegal forward pass. It's brought, the signal being given. They're penalized to the 13-yard line. It's first down for Ohio State. They have possession with 2 minutes and 36 seconds remaining.
You know, Kurtzon's talking about the job that John Sandy was able to do, holding off Jim Stillwagon. Dennis Sheehan, who has replaced Sandy in there, has been doing a tremendous job, too. Haven't had a chance to point his name out since he got into the ball game.
Masajowski to Jan White. White's at the 25 and to the 28-yard line of Ohio State. Jack Schultz, number 44, hit him first. They've already announced in the press box that Jim Plunkett receives the Helms Award, the most valuable player of this 1971 Rose Bowl game. So that caps off a phenomenal career for Jim Plunkett. Voted this year the outstanding college player in America. He won so many awards that we couldn't put all the credits up on the screen for him today, the awards he's won. And he winds up a Stanford career that probably is the most brilliant individual career in the history of Stanford football. He did it with a clutch performance today. First down I think, Kyle, the outstanding thing of this game is Ohio State had just murdered everybody in the second half, and yet Stanford outplayed Ohio State in the second half today.
Well, this has been pretty much an entire Pacific 8 conference affair. All of the Pacific 8 coaches who were in the area, I think, came in to lend assistance to John Ralston to see if there's anything they could do to help.
Ohio State under 28, Stanford leading 27-17. Mace Sajowski throwing deep. Beautiful catch. Flag is down. There's a flag down. Dan White making a spectacular grab.
While we're waiting for this ruling, we can watch Jan White going downfield. Leading pass receiver for Ohio State. Covered by Benny Barnes, and there's a great twisting catch, but it'll be called back.
This is against Ohio State. They dropped that flag deep in the secondary. I wonder if it's offensive pass interference. We'll see. I think it is offensive pass interference. As he followed the receiver on the route, he threw the flag. Offensive pass interference against Ohio State. Puts the ball back on the Ohio State 14. They lose the down. It's second down and 24 yards to go for Ohio State. Ray Sajowski lobbing it deep again and over the head of number 82, Jankowski. Jim Kaufman covering him. A minute 57. We'll be switching right after the final gun here to the Orange Bowl for Nebraska and Louisiana State. So you won't see the pandemonium that'll break loose by Stanford, as this will turn out to be perhaps the greatest victory of Stanford's football history. Killed your team, the Stanford team this year. When they had the big one, they had to win, they won it. Yet they lost 3 games. Sajowski's pass. And I think they've called that to Zelina, complete at the 29-yard line of Ohio State. Stanford defeated Arkansas, their big one against USC that they were so desperate for. They knocked over UCLA. They had to beat Washington to go to the Rose Bowl. And after they clinched the Rose Bowl, they lost to the Air Force and California, 2 teams they were favored against. 27-17, the clock ticking away against Ohio State. And now timeout charged against Ohio State. Action will continue here at the Rose Bowl. The score is Stanford 27, Ohio State 17.
Peanut theory. It starts with a single peanut. You try it. You'll like it. You come back for more. For years, we've been selling Chryslers this way. People buy one, they like it. They come back for more. All we have to do is to get you into that first Chrysler. So, we're coming through with a brand new series of full-sized Chryslers, a special introductory offer at a new low price, a Royal. Royal is our way of introducing as many people as possible to Chrysler luxury, quality, and value. New Chrysler Royal. New low price. Royal. The easiest way yet to acquire the Chrysler taste.
Here comes Chrysler, coming through. Here comes Chrysler.
We also want to thank the Stanford coach, John Ralston, and his staff. Johnny Ralston, at the age of 43, about to score the biggest victory of his career. The athletic director, Chuck Taylor. Sports information director, Bob Murphy. Third down, 11 for Ohio State. Sajowski's pass just misses Jan White, who was open at the Stanford 45.
And he might have gone all the way. That was a 4th down. Ball goes over to Stanford.
This telecast has been produced by Lou Cusserow directed by Harry Coyle. Our unit manager has been Bill Palmerston. Our associate director, John Kittleson. Our production assistant, Virginia Sipe. Technical supervisor, Jerry Ireland. Technical director, Gene Swartz. Audio, Jim Kiger. Here's the play. Stanford running it. Trying to kill the clock. And our video by Ray Olson. We're in the last minute of the Rose Bowl, and Stanford will be an upset victor. Texas was upset today by Notre Dame, and Ohio State is being upset by Stanford. Listen to the roar from the Stanford stands. What a cheer. They have a new quarterback, Jess Freitas, in the game, replacing Plunkett. Flags are down. 38 seconds remaining. Want to thank Steve Bailey, radio station KMPC here in Los Angeles, for his help with us today. And Bill Freeze of Ohio State. Dr. Robert Woods, again, doing a fine job on our statistics, and Chuck Panama, the great help we've had here in the booth. And a Happy New Year to all you gentlemen. And our stage manager, the bearded Bob Osberg. This penalty going against Ohio State.